welcome to History 101.
Pastry 101, where baking becomes simple, skills work fast, and every recipe builds confidence. So, people, grab your tools, trust the process, and let's create something sweet. Something sweet, Chefy.
Hello, Daniel.
Yes, how are you, Chefy?
I still know I used to say Pastry 101. I must come out the other way, Food 101. And then I don't want to get confused here.
Yes, people, this is a new podcast that we're doing with Chef Alessandro. We're live every Sunday, or either Monday or Sunday, because this podcast is not yet on any podcast platform because we are building more episodes, and after that it's available wherever you listen your podcast. So for the meantime, well, catch us on Live 365 or Radio Talks in the UK and Live 365 in the US. It's an online radio where you can listen to us as well. So,
Yes.
Shafi, what we gonna talk
Yes.
about today on
Well,
Pastry
today, because last
101?
week we talked about the sweet short crust, no? How to
Mm-hmm.
make the base of sweet crust. This time we're going to talk about short crust pastry, but it's for to make an apple pie. That's
Yes.
a basic the recipe that we learn at the culinary school. That's one of the most important one. It's a pâte brisée. It's a French classic dough that you can make quiche, you can make apple pie, pumpkin pie, any kind of pie, crust. They can be salty or can be even sweet. This though is the best. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It's a genius crust, short crust pastry. Very simple to make at home. You can even use a food processor to make this one, so it's not that can be not that messy. But there is few steps that you have to follow because you don't want to make some mistake on it, and that's why we are here, and we can tell you the easy way how to make a home. Okay.
Awesome, Shafi. And this is, I know, this is your favorite dessert, crostata.
Well,
Favorite
it's
dessert.
well, it's a I use a lot when I was young. I was working in pastry. We was using a lot of pâte à brisée all the time and making all the tart, make apple pie, made a little quiche for the hotel where I was working long time ago. I was in two-star Michelin Lord Byron Hotel at the Parioli in Rome. It was very famous in the 90s, then so when I was very young. When I was young. Yes, that's
Very young.
classic. So I love to share this one because it's a nice recipe and it's not that hard to make. It's easy to make at home, and you can play around with this recipe. You can make a lot many things. So that's good to have, always in your little drawer in the kitchen. Okay,
Mhm.
let's start tell about the recipe. Okay, so for this short crust pastry pâte à brisée, you're gonna need all-purpose flour,
Yes.
unsalted butter, very cold. Making sure that's very cold. Salt, a little bit touch of sugar, and ice cold water. That's one of the most important things. For the filling, we're gonna have the Granny Smith apple, about 6, 7 apple, brown sugar, or a little bit of all-purpose flour, or you can do if you want a little bit corn flour or cornstarch, some melted butter, then cinnamon, lemon juice, lemon zest, ginger, grated ginger, and a pinch of salt, like 3 grams of salt, something like that. And to finish, you're gonna need 1 egg yolk, about a little bit water and sugar, just to for the top. That we're gonna explain after. Uh, which apple to choose to avoid the watery feeling, because many times it's happened that you make an apple pie at home and you got lots of water coming out. So usually the ideal best apple is the Granny Smith. This is a perfect for the apple pie because um, they are slightly tart and not too juicy. So that's very good. And the shape during the baking, that's gonna give you a nice and creamy, compact filling inside and a crispy bottom crust without excess moisture. That's what you want. You don't want to have. You don't want to have the water, the leaking inside the pie, and then the bottom of the pie it's always soft. It's happened to, especially at the beginning when you try the first time. This kind of mistake. So it's very important to choose the right, the right apple. That's one of the most important things. Another trick to prevent the watery feeling, as you cut the apple in pieces, you have to place them in a cotton towel. That's going to help you, to dry up the excess of the water when they come out. And you should make a rest for at least 10 to 15 minutes. Then, if the towel remain dry, that means that the apple they are not very juicy. So that's very good because that's a good sign that you can use that one for the pie. Okay, so to prepare the dough, that's very important. The most important thing is to keep everything nice and cold. So that's one of the trick. So the cold butter and the ice water are essential. Very, very cold. So the butter must stay in small visible pieces inside the dough, so they make the crust flaky layer during the baking. So what you're gonna do is you get your dry stuff like your purpose flour, your salt, a little bit cold the granulated sugar, and then you broken the butter inside the flour. You just shake it together, and then you start to add the cold water. Into practically you become a nice, beautiful, smooth dough. Don't work it too much because the more you work, the more you're going to warm up the dough, and that's something that you don't want. You want to make sure that the dough is cold so that the butter doesn't melt. And the rest to rest the dough, that's the most important thing. At least you gotta rest the dough for at least 1 hour in the fridge, just to make it relax the gluten and to prevent uh, the prevent to don't shrink too much when you actually you baking the dough, so you don't have to stretch it right away. um, Making sure that you mix very well the apple. That's very important too. You mix the apple with the sugar, with the spice, with the flour, a little bit flour or cornstarch, what we said before, the lemon juice, and let it rest for 10, 15 minutes. Sometimes it's going to release the water. That's another thing. So what we're going to do, we're going to maybe drain that little juice come out from the apple. And then we start to roll up. After 1 hour, we start to roll up the dough. That's you nice stretch your dough. You can use a nice parchment paper under. You can with the double paper so you doesn't stick around. And you just mold on the nice, beautiful pie uh, mold, and we gonna stuff it with all the apple, and then we gonna seal on top. You can make a nice long strip. You can seal all around, and that we gonna bake after in a static oven for 190 degrees. Into the top is nice and quick. Sorry, I forgot. You have to brush a little bit with the egg yolk and sugar and the water, just to brush around. So you give a nice golden color on top when you bake it in the oven. Like I say, you baking for about uh, 25 to 30 minutes, depends of the how strong is the oven. That's why it's very important to know very well the oven. It's a 119 Celsius static oven, into a nice brown on top. And then after we're gonna rest. We're gonna make a rest for 2-3 hours before we cut it. And that pie, it's good. When it's cold, it's hot, it's good anyway. Doesn't matter what. With a nice, beautiful ice cream, it's fantastic to do it. Hello.
Beautiful ice cream indeed. So,
Yes.
Chefy, if I do this for the first time, what are
Yes.
your tips for the first timer?
Well, okay. The most important thing, like I said before, is to they have to use ice cold water and the butter. That's the It's the common mistake that everybody make at home. You just pick up the butter, you just leave it outside, and then after you start to mix it. No, you have to keep the butter in the fridge. When it's time to mix, you got all the dry ingredient together. Then, okay, you take out from the fridge, you mix together, and the water must be cold. I still remember my first pastry chef always said to me, just put the ice inside the water. So
Mm-hmm.
3-4 cubes of ice is going to keep even more cold, because at least when you mix it, it takes time before it get warm up that dough, because you have to mix with the hand. So of course your body is going to release heat on the dough, and it's very important. That's what the common mistake that everybody make at the beginning. But
Mm.
for the rest, when you mix your dry, you got your dough done. The most important thing is to make a rest in the fridge, nice and cold for at least 1 hour. It's very important. And then after you in the hours, you can start to prepare your filling. You can even turn on the oven anyway, because it's taking time to warm up. And
Mm-hmm.
the feeling, you just, even the feeling, you have to, like I say, you have to make a rest, because of course you're gonna release, after you put the sugar, you're gonna release even more water, if you depending what kind of apple you use.
Delicious, delicious, Chefy. So, why is it important to prevent a soggy bottom crust and how that can be achieved?
Well, the saggy part is, like I said at the beginning, is it's when you choose even the wrong apple. So
Mm-hmm.
if you got the right apple, is sometimes gonna, if it's not the right apple, sometimes it's gonna release the water. That's why, even I say, just put your apple on a towel just to dry up when you clean your apple, just to see how much water they have. After 10-15 minutes, you can see if it release more water from the apple. And but yeah, that's one of the trick that you need to know. The Making sure that you make a rest, the your feeling before you put inside the pie.
Shafi,
Hello?
how about the why is it or what role does thickening agent like flour, cornstarch, and tapioca play in the filling?
The in the feeling, you need to, if there is a release of liquid, the little starch or tapioca or even the flour is going to help you to make like almost like a sauce inside, like, like almost like uh, convert the juice of the fruits to become, to don't release too much water on it, and to make it nice and wet. And it's going to create that little creamy stuffing feeling inside.
Creamy, creamy stuff for sure. And Shafi, what's the difference of let's say between lattice crust and the full top crust in terms of baking performance?
Well, for full crust, you still gotta make a hole in the middle to make it release the steam, because of course with the steam, it's gonna can build even more liquid inside. That's one thing. I always like the strip, like, the picture that you have um, on the video, on the screen. It's very nice, because it's gonna be, you don't eat only dough, you eat more fruits than dough. I like the dough. I don't, I don't mind that. But it's good to have, more fruits to enjoy. And then when you put a nice, beautiful ice cream beside, vanilla ice cream, it'd be a perfect match. I think your microphone.
Shafi, why is it important that you're gonna put spices like cinnamon, nutmeg, or cloves traditionally used in apple pie?
Well, it's the traditional recipe. Of course, it's the cinnamon, the cloves. If you like to, yeah, you can put it on. But yeah, the cinnamon it's a classic for an apple pie. You need the cinnamon to give it a special flavor on the apple, and then create the little bit the brown sugar to create that nice beautiful feeling and tasty on the apple.
Certainly, yes, definitely. Cinnamon and all the spices make the apple pie so good. So, Shafi, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people, because my Abstract Essay is already in that sixth season, Abstract Poetry in third season, and of course, my book 101 review in sixth season too, Comedy 101 in its third season, and of course, my Food 101, our Food 101 with Chef Alessandro is already sixth season, plus our Pastry 101 in its first season. Geography 101, Love Letters, Movie 101, Review, Music 101 are in fifth season, Science 101, Sex 101, a fourth season, Spiritual Awakening, Trivia 101, Motivation 101, Mental Health 101, Law 101, Entrepreneurship 101, Coaching 101, of course, Bible Verses 101 are our baby podcasts. So, Shafi, to wrap up our apple pie, what else you can say about it?
Well, I say, well, this is a very, very simple recipe to follow. Very, very easy. Try to make it. Of course, automatically people gonna make mistake on it, but you're gonna learn from your
Mm,
mistake. So it's a
definitely.
classic, and try as much as possible, and you're gonna enjoy it because everybody like a pie.
Everybody love that apple pie. It does with a crisp
Yes.
vanilla ice cream on the top.
Oh yes, with the cream.
Mm.
Oh yes.
Mamma mia, for sure. And people on Food 101, we always saying that don't afraid to commit mistakes or whatever in the kitchen because you will learn from it. You will be better, best of the first time that you did apple pie.
Yes.
Mm. Something that you will be proud of once you make this perfect apple pie as shown on the website itself. Please do visit our official website of, well, the same now, pastry 101 and food 101, because I don't have time to do my the other separate pastry food and pastry and food 101. I'm so busy people because I have like now 22 podcasts. Imagine editing, plus I'm interviewing 150 guests every month. Imagine the load, but I love what I'm doing, so I keep going and going. Who knows, Chef Alessandro will do more, one more
Oh.
podcast. So let's do three podcasts. Who knows? After 6 years, we're doing Pastry 101. Chef Alessandro will add one more every 6 years. But anyway, thank you so much for supporting us. Thank you for our avid listeners, viewers on Food
Thank you.
101. I hope you will support us on Pastry 101 because we make the episodes bigger.
Better and bolder.
Yes, the same with our Food 101. I hope you will
Yes.
belong to Best Pastry Podcast. Just like our Food 101, it's belong to number 12 Best Food Podcast. We are always on the spot, either 8, 9, 10, 12. Oh, we get all those
So up and
numbers.
down, no problem.
Ups and down, but we always on the spot for 6 years now. So thank you for supporting us and hoping for the best and the best for this year. for our both podcasts, Food 101 and Pastry 101. So, Chef A,
Okay, people.
see you soon.
Bye bye.